Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and hope you're having a good day. We had some great shenanigans at the good old midterm elections last night. God, I can't speak English today. Apparently, very first video of the day, and this is happening. My God. Well, anywho, it seems that we had some crazy stuff happening last night. I'll probably go over a little bit of this stuff and kind of what's going on. Carrie Lake and the Maricopa stuff, which I did post a small short clip of showing you guys exactly what's going on there, and it doesn't seem like it's doing too great on that end. But I will say that these things are getting kind of crazy. But all the good news, I think that that at least the Republicans had a pretty good win. I think some people are saying it's not great, but I think it's good. And we actually took places that won in certain areas, so that's good. But I won't get too far into that because this is a completely different video that has nothing to do with that. However, this has a lot to do with Mark Zuckerberg and what's going on with Facebook, where Facebook is literally collapsing before our very eyes. So, that being said, since that's happening, I think that we can say that Facebook is legitimately dying. I stopped using Facebook years ago, and I don't really use it anymore. The most of the time is that I would actually use it to, look at friends, stay up for friends and stuff like that, but it seems like a lot of the stuff is just, pretty much failing, and Mark Zuckerberg wants to do censorship, which most people in the country, I think, don't really agree with. Alright, it says, I got this wrong, I apologize. Mark Zuckerberg says sorry as he tells workers in 6 a.m. email that he's slashing 11,000 jobs, around 13% of its workforce, and one of the biggest U.S. layoffs this year after shares lost 2/3 of their value. Alright, so Mark Zuckerberg apologized to Meta workers after sending an early email confirming that thousands of jobs lost amid soaring costs and a weak advertising market. The Facebook founder told executives in a meeting yesterday that 11,000 jobs will be cut, with recruiting and business teams to face major losses. Zuckerberg, 38, was said to have appeared gloomy on the call and also said he was accountable for missteps made by Meta. Employees received the confirmation about the cuts in a company-wide email, which was sent at 6 a.m. EST this morning, with staff being able to keep their addresses for the next day to say farewell. The CEO admitted that he got it wrong in the message, and he takes responsibility for the problems which caused him to make the cuts, which makes up 13% of Meta's workforce. It is the first time in Meta's 18-year history that they will be making a major layoffs, which follow redundancies at other major tech companies, including Twitter and Microsoft Corp. Actually, I'm a little bit surprised that Microsoft Corp is doing layoffs, but actually, no. I would say surprised because I thought they were always doing well despite the inflation and the economy. But thinking back about it, the economy is hitting everybody really, really hard, and a lot of companies. So I guess I wouldn't be too terribly surprised that that companies even such as Microsoft would be doing layoffs. That kind of just shows, guys, if Microsoft is doing layoffs, it's not looking good at all for the economy in general. So I mean, you can't really pin that on you can really pin that on Biden. Taking a page out of Twitter CEO Elon Musk's book, Zuckerberg sent the early morning email to all employees, letting them know the company had lost 2/3 of its value. These are the trends, ladies and gentlemen. Trends, and not looking great. Alright, so we'll keep on going on to this. He said not only has online commerce returned to prior trends, but the microeconomic downturn, increased competition, and ad signal loss have caused our revenue to be much lower than expected. I got this wrong, I take responsibility for that. He also said the company was overstaffed because he was only optimistic about its growth. Zuckerberg stressed the company would shift resources to high-priority growth areas such as its AI discovery engine, ads, and business platforms, as well as its Metaverse project. The pandemic boom that boosted tech companies and their valuations has turned into a bust this year in the face of decades-high inflation and rapidly rising interest rates. As of the market opening on Wednesday, the share price has risen 5% today, with a bigger increase expected. Meta said it would pay 16 weeks of base pay plus 2 additional weeks for every year of service as a part of the severance package and all remaining paid time off. Employee will get cost of healthcare for 6 months, and those impacted will receive their November 15 vesting, according to the company. Yeah, this is I know Threadverse is not doing well at all. So as you can see in this article, obviously, but I knew that it wasn't doing too hot, and even before we've seen it where Meta wasn't doing great, even on launch. But we continue to go on. It says Meta said it also plans to cut discretionary spending and extend its hiring freeze through the first quarter. The company shares, which have lost more than 2/3 of their value, were up about 3% in pre-market trading. Zuckerberg said in October that he expected to end 2023 roughly the same size, signaling that some jobs could be reoccupied following the layoffs. It is thought that that Meta could launch another hiring drive next year, which focuses on its Reality Labs arm, the department which takes the lead on the metaverse. Meta recently forecast a weak holiday quarter and a significantly more costs next year, wiping about $67 billion from stock market value, adding to the more than $500 billion in value already lost this year. The disappointing outlook comes as Meta is contending with social global economic growth, competition from TikTok, privacy changes from Apple, concerns about massive spending on the metaverse, and the ever-present threat of regulation. Meta has placed a big bet on its metaverse being the next big frontier of the technology industry, with CEO Mark Zuckerberg funneling more than $36 billion into the project that many consider so far at least to be failing. The CEO has subsequently been seeing more than $30 billion of those funds evaporate in a matter of months, while his net worth, which is largely tied up to his company's valuation, was reported to have lost $88 billion. So, as you can see here, that it's not looking great for Facebook and Meta. And a lot of these things seem to be failing on the ends of, I would say, Facebook and what have you. Now, this is a pretty long article, so we're not going to go through all of it. Mostly because I want to show you guys some other great stuff. That's what's been happening to Facebook over the course of a couple of years. And this is kind of like the bigger deal here that we have, where Facebook is just not doing well, not being the greatest of its advertisers, etc., to where it's just not doing good. So what we're going to do here, people, is that we're going to find out exactly how much money Facebook has lost in like one day. So we're going to go here, exactly. So, what we have here is that Facebook Apple-induced faceplant could haunt company a while. This happened back in February 4th, 2022. Facebook has set a number of records in its 18-year existence, but the latest threshold eclipsed by parent company Meta Platforms is far more scar than beauty mark. And that blemish, a free fall that catered for Facebook stocks this week, will live on for a while. Following its quarterly earnings that was short across the board, Facebook's stock on Thursday set a record when shares collapsed by 26.4% in the process. Its market valuation plunged more than $232 billion. That's the biggest in one-day drop in market value for any company in the history of the U.S. stock market. Now, that's how much Facebook has lost in value and stuff like that, and that's just not good. Now, what we're going to do here, guys, is that I'm going to show a few videos for you that will kind of show exactly how bad Facebook is doing. So you already seen that Facebook is dropping 11,000 employees, and we already see that Facebook is lost $232 billion essentially in one day. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to go through a couple of videos that explains and shows what's been going on with Facebook over the recent time and years that seems to be the whole reason for its great fall. More coming up.
57% say that they use TikTok. 95% use YouTube. I'm pretty sure everybody uses YouTube at this point, but they say that only 32% of teens reported using the standard Facebook app. Now, that is a dramatic drop from when they did the survey in 2014 and 2015 and found that 71% of teens said that they used the app. That was even more than what they then say use TikTok now.
User time to TikTok. And that continues to happen. TikTok now is up to 75% share of adults under 25 here in America, which is the highest ARPU region for Meta. So we're worried about both ad unit availabilities as people move time into TikTok, and we're worried about demand softness at the advertising level. And 100% of Meta's revenue comes from auction.
And it was a hot new object in town, the platform everybody wants to be a part of that has far faster growth. Facebook may not be losing time spent, but they're certainly losing on a relative growth basis. TikTok is definitely growing faster. And I think advertisers, Andrew, are gravitating towards that medium. But right. All of this is sort of a sideshow to the fact that while...
So yeah, as you can see, that Facebook is really just not doing super well, and it has competition with TikTok. I believe that TikTok should be banned for numerous reasons, because mostly that TikTok has a lot of death on their hands because of these horrible trends that keep on happening, and they're not usually safe trends, my god. They're very, very dangerous, and people have lost their lives for it, and it needs to stop. On top of that, it's hurting. I think a lot of social media companies are hurting kids, and I think that kids should not ever really be allowed to be used on any social media app until much, much later in life, because it really hurts hurts kids in the long run. It may not happen, it may not hurt them in the short term, but in the long run it does seem to have damage onto them, especially with females, to where it's more of a bigger impact on females in general, to where validation and attention, etc. is kind of a bigger part for females, and if they don't receive that, it really hurts them psychologically. So I think that TikTok, Instagram, and such places like that need to die, and I'm kind of glad that Facebook is dying, because it was never healthy to begin with. It was very censoring to other people, and I think this is a massive problem. So yeah, this is not good, and so I think Facebook is finally meeting its end, such as Netflix and other companies, in the next couple of years. So we'll be seeing what's going on later. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.